So, within my own personal life, I have well and truly experienced the Matthew 10 sword. Okay, and because of my obedience to Yah's righteousness and my dedication to the servant work, my relationships with my family members have been, broken completely, to be honest. And they think that I'm because of the stereotypes of Christianity, they think that I'm just this guy that just goes around bashing on gays and bashing on trans people and bashing on abortion and all that kind of stuff. And it's they really have no idea. Well, of course they have no idea, because they're not obedient to God, so they don't have the spirit of truth, so they don't know. And I feel sorry for them. I feel sorrow. Because just like all these people in the churches and in the synagogues, they've been deceived. But the thing that actually angers me, according to scripture as well, Paul quoting Deuteronomy 32 and Romans 10, telling us that God's sons and daughters are going to be provoked to anger by a foolish nation. And of course that foolish nation is Mystery Babylon. And I am pissed off at Mystery Babylon, okay? I am well and truly pissed off at the Christian church. Because you have done such a piss-poor job of doing what you were supposed to do in spreading the gospel, which is spreading the righteousness of God. You've done such a shit job at doing that. In fact, not only have you just done a bad job at doing it, you haven't even tried to actually do it. You've done the opposite. This gospel that you've taught, that nobody can keep the commandments, only Jesus could keep them, so we just have to have this superstitious belief in him, and if we do that, we'll be fine. That's not the gospel. That is a perversion of the gospel. Okay? You people in the Christian church were supposed to recognize that the northern kingdom of Israel were divorced from God and kicked out of the land of the inheritance because they were worshipping pagan idolatry. You were supposed to recognize that and teach your children never, ever, ever to do what the northern kingdom of Israel did to be divorced from God. That's what you were supposed to do. And the way that you were supposed to do that was by listening to Deuteronomy 6 and writing the 10 commandments, proverbially speaking here, writing the 10 commandments upon the frontlets of your eyes and upon your arms and upon your hands and upon your forehead, upon the posts of your doors. It basically means live the 10 commandments. That is how you were supposed to live, and you were supposed to teach your children to keep the 10 commandments. And if you taught your children to keep the 10 commandments, we wouldn't have this sodomy problem that we have. We wouldn't have this abortion problem that we have. All of these things are symptoms and outcomes of the wickedness of idolatry and spiritual fornication and Sabbath breaking, generally speaking, covenant breaking. Okay? The reason why all of those things happen is because you people will not learn from the mistakes of our forefathers, and you don't even read the scriptures where all of that is contained. How many of you Christian people watching these videos have ever read 2 Kings 17 through to 24? And I don't mean read it as in, you just glazed over it when you were doing your read the Bible in a year thing, and you just chugged through it just to get through it, this is boring. You really read it. you read it and you say, wow, okay, God was really, really pissed off when his people worshipped pagan idolatry. He was really, really pissed off when they cut a tree out of a forest, brought it inside into their homes, stood it upright, and decorated it with silver and gold, and then sacrificed their children to it. God was really, really fucking pissed off when Israel did that. So maybe, just maybe, it's a wise idea if I don't do the same thing. Nah, that's not what you thought. You thought, yeah, I'll just do the exact same thing. Like, literally, to a T, the exact same thing. Like, what a bunch of morons you are. What a bunch of absolute retards the Christian church is. Okay? And I really mean that. They are completely insane, and they are completely retarded. Because how can you read the Bible and think that the gospel is that we don't have to keep the 10 Commandments anymore? That is genuinely nuts. That is crazy. Okay? So, I'm not pissed off at, these heathen and these agnostics and atheists and, anyway, if you don't even claim to follow God, I'm not mad at you. I feel sorrow for you. I feel bad for you because you've been lied to. And you look at the church, and rightfully so, you think, I don't want anything to do with that. Yeah, you should feel like that. Because the church is an absolute joke. But let me tell you this. What the church is doing is absolutely not what God wanted them to do. They are messing up so badly. They are messing up so badly. And God is angrier with the church and with the synagogues than he is with any of you atheists and agnostics and non-believers. He's he's infinitely angrier with the Christian church and the synagogues than he is with you atheists and agnostics and, just non-believers. Even the fact that you don't believe in a God is a result of their fuck-up. And one of the ways you know that they're really fucked up is because if you go in the comments, there'll be a bunch of Christians saying, oh, he said fuck 3 times in that video. Well, fuck you. Because I focus on the righteousness of God and not my own self-righteousness. That's what you were supposed to do. But because you hate God in your heart, this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Because you hate God, you have gone about to establish your own righteousness instead of submitting yourself to the righteousness of God, just like Paul warned that you would do in Romans 10.